longer has a womb, or for some reason she's unable to have children. Lies. Quick listen, I'm about to trigger the internet people again. If you're a woman, you have no fertility complications, you can carry a child to term, and you decide by yourself that you don't want to do that and you want to use a surrogate instead, your decisions are valid. You don't owe anybody any medical report, apology, or an explanation. Let's make the story personal here.
So she already started with she wants to trigger everybody. I don't know what the noise about surrogacy is then. If someone who obviously is a content creator and she said, I want to trigger the internet, and she said something that is controversial and everybody took her serious. I don't know why anybody will do that. She literally said, I want to trigger the internet, but
I don't have any fertility complications. I'm perfectly healthy, but I'm still going to use a surrogate. I know many people are genuinely curious. Anytime I say this, they will always ask, Ife, why don't you want to carry a baby? You know, you can carry a baby. You're healthy. I'm not going to tell you. I just don't want to use it. I don't want to use my womb, okay? You don't owe anybody any explanation. People expect that people who use surrogate or want to use a surrogate must have a tragedy story. It's not true. I don't have a tragedy story. Not everyone does. I figured out what offends people is the autonomy that a woman dares say, I choose not to go through childbirth and pregnancy. The audacity. It shakes the table.
This is one thing that I think she's alright about though. I think there is a problem with the society. There is a struggle with women having autonomy over their own body. This is something that has raised its ugly head in a lot of discussion. When you see a woman say, for example, that I don't want to get married, for example, you are going to see a lot of people who feels, how dare you not want to get married? You are selfish. You are this, you are that. Just because she says, I don't want to get married, which actually doesn't impact anybody else. That decision doesn't impact anybody else. Another way this raises its ugly head is when women say things like, I don't want to have children. You are still going to see a lot of people screaming at the top of their voice, how dare you not want to have children? Why don't you want to give some people life? You don't want to bring somebody to life. And I've always wondered, why do you people care so much if somebody doesn't want to have a child and that decision doesn't impact anybody else? Why are you guys so upset? Why? And I think she's right when she says the problem is the autonomy, because I think it's actually true. People don't like women having autonomy over their own life, and I think it's terrible.
That society has taught women to kneel beside, that if you don't bleed for it, you don't deserve it. That if you don't go through the pain of childbirth, the joy of motherhood is invalid. If you've believed this all your life, put your hand on your head and say, I'm unlearning this. I'm unlearning this. Thank you very much. Should women carry their babies if they really want to? Yes. Should women use a surrogate if that's what they really want? Also, yes. I know many of you will come at me with, if I read the room, even surrogacy is expensive. I'm reading the room, guys. The women around me can actually afford it. And the women who can't will do it if they could afford it. I pray that when it's time, that you have the means to do this if that's what you really want. But let's be honest, money is not the reason people are angry at the idea of surrogacy. People are angry because you have the freedom to choose and the audacity to actually act upon it. That seems to offend people more than anything else. But why?
I think it's actually a good question. Why does it offend people so much? And the truth is, it's almost like there's nothing women do that the society is almost ever going to be okay. I mean, there are a lot of people, for example, even when somebody like Inedo did her own surrogacy, for example, she did her surrogacy and her own was not even elective. I think her own was done out of necessity. And there were still people who were unsatisfied. She didn't choose the surrogacy because she could have baby just like this lady. She chose the surrogacy because she's gone through a lot of miscarriage. And still, there were people who were still unhappy that she chose surrogacy because she's not under a man. I saw one ridiculous comment sometimes ago. I don't know why they screenshot it. That somebody was complaining, oh, why is she going for surrogacy instead of getting married and being under a man? So I don't really see the problem with surrogacy in terms of people wanting to have it.
Do you think you can... and I just stay clear.
Okay, this is the kind of people I hate in this kind of discussion. This type of presenter that is on black, that is making the claim that you feel entitled to somebody's body. And it's not an entitlement. That's actually very disingenuous because it's transactional. And when you get into a transaction, there is no entitlement there. I'm paying you to offer me a service. You're happy with what I'm paying you. And because of what I'm paying you, you're offering the service. There is no entitlement there. The presenter saying that she feels entitled is basically trying to make women who seek for surrogacy look as bad as possible when they are literally not seeking. I don't know anybody who feels entitled to somebody's body, who wants them to carry the baby without their consent. So if the person have to give their consent, how is that an entitlement?
Out of it, it is a means to exploit people who are not financially capable. You just pay them and say, have a child for me. But then what will make you want to look after them? Are you bound under any laws or legal framework to make sure that they are taken care of before and after they deliver the baby for you? What are the documents that are signed? What are the ethical? In short, there's just so much around it. Surrogacy is a thing of giving hope to those who cannot have medical complications and want to bring forth a child. It shouldn't be something to be done lightly, like I'm going to buy a bag. Oh, I like this bag. Well, let me buy it. No, it shouldn't be. There are lots of emotions attached to carrying a child. Apart from the changes in the body, there's mental, changes. Women have
the
PTSD.
risk.
There's so much. They can die. So it shouldn't be something to be just thought of lightly. I hope Nigeria rises up to it. I hope we have laws that will actually work and not be suggestions, like you always say.
No woman.
So this is probably where I think I agree with Kate. I think the government needs to come in. I think it is terrible that we live in a country where there isn't any law, there is no regulation, there is no oversight on surrogacy, and it's always going to be a recipe for abuse. So yes, I think there's a good argument that government should come in, and when government is coming in, it's not supposed to be government coming in to come and ban it, because the problem with when you ban stuff is you ban it under the ground, you take it out of the view of the public. And when it's not in the view of the public anymore, there's no way to criticize it. There's no way to scrutinize it. So I don't think banning it necessarily offers any kind of solution. I think the solution is supposed to be regulation. So the government comes in. The government serves as the middleman between the woman who wants to get surrogacy and the woman who wants to be a surrogate. And there needs to be law, there needs to be contracts, papers that needs to be signed. I think there should be it should be legally bound that the woman seeking for the surrogacy is responsible for the surrogate, medically speaking, in terms of complications or whatever happens during the pregnancy. I think we should have contracts like that. But to say some women shouldn't have access to surrogacy, I think is just ridiculous. And I don't know why women hate each other so much like that, where when some women feel they don't want something, they don't want other women to have it. But I'm not even a woman, so what do I know?